back over to cinema, and it's me again. It's me again with a film called No Hard Feelings. Um, no Hard Feelings. This is Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence doing a. I mean, the synopsis of this sounds very much like. Do you remember the time around the time when Superbad and Knocked Up and all these Seth Rogen comedies were getting made? Things like Pineapple Express and all that. This sounds like Jennifer Lawrence doing one of those films. So essentially, what the idea behind this film is that you have Jennifer Lawrence and you meet her, and she lives in sort of like upstate New York. So one of these towns, like one of these towns on the coast, where people from New York go and have like holiday homes and everything. And she's been there since she was a kid, but because all these people keep coming in and buying holiday homes, she's been priced out. She's been priced out of where she's living. And she's an Uber driver. That's how she makes ends meet. But her council tax is going up because of all these rich people moving in. She can't pay the council tax, and because she can't pay her council tax, they come and repossess her car, and they take her car away from her. She's like, how am I supposed to make money to pay the thing if I don't have a car to earn money to pay the thing? And she goes on Craigslist, and on Craigslist she sees an advert for some parents who are advertising that they're looking for a lovely young woman to date their son. And it turns out that it's paid by sorry, Sean.
Can I ask what is Craigslist? I've heard before. I've got no idea what it is. I've heard about
Craigslist, or I think some people call it Craigslist because it's American. So it's kind of like when you have like the classified ads in old newspapers.
Yes.
Craigslist is essentially like an online version of that. So people put all sorts of stuff on there, looking for a partner, looking for looking for somebody to kill. Looking for someone who will let me watch TV with them. Looking for somebody for sexual favors. All that. So it's because the internet. So on Craigslist, she finds these people who are offering, because she's looking for a car. They're saying they're looking for someone to date the young son who's about to go up to university, and it turns out it's Matthew Broderick, and I cannot remember the woman's name. She was in Supergirl. She plays Melania Trump on Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And each time I see her, I'm like, oh, I know her from somewhere. I've got to get her name, but I cannot remember her name. But they play this helicopter parents of this 18-year-old kid who's about to go off to Stanford, I believe it is. He's about to go off to Stanford, but he is 18-year-old. He's been sheltered his whole life, doesn't really have any friends, doesn't really do anything out of the house, and they think to really break this child out of his shell, what we need is for somebody to date him and have sex with him, and then when he has sex, he's going to be released, he's going to be a new man, and then we can send him off into the world, and we can be happy as parents that we've done the right thing. And they say that they will give her a car. They'll give her a car for this. Sure, Holly, you found her name.
Yes, Laura Benanti.
That's it, Laura Benanti. Laura Benanti. She's big on Broadway. Hasn't done as much stuff on screen, but each time I see her, I'm like, I know her from somewhere, and it's from playing Melania Trump on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And they say, okay, he can't know about this. He can't know that we are doing this, because if he knows that we're doing it, it's just going to defeat the whole object. So the whole film is Jennifer Lawrence, who is 32, and in the film, the character is 32, trying to seduce an 18-year-old and have sex with him, because then she will get a car. That is the plot of this film. And there is obviously, if you swap the genders of these people around, this would be a very, very icky film. It would be a very icky film. And they sort of acknowledge that in the film. They acknowledge that, oh yeah, it's a bit of an icky thing. But for me, it's very much like in the vein of those early sort of like comedies like Knocked Up and everything like that. Because I keep coming back to Knocked Up, because Knocked Up I thought was a film that had a very lewd kind of base one frat boy premise, but managed to actually have some bit of heart in it by the end of it. And with this, I don't want to sort of try and talk about the jokes or talk about anything like that, but this does a very similar thing. Where what happens, I feel like what happens in this film, Kemi No, I said quiet voice. What bit of quiet voice do you not understand?
All of it, Daddy.
Okay. So and I would give this one 3 out of 5. Okay, I think I would have to pull up there and say I'll give it, Kenny. I'll give it 3 out of 5. It ends up having quite a bit of I think it ends up having quite a bit of heart. The relationship between the kid and Jennifer Lawrence ends up being kind of touching. But I think it has all the touch points and all the things that you would expect to happen in this film. So it's good. It's a good time. Kemi, quiet. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but it's a 3 out of 5. And now I'm gonna mute myself now.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna let Sean tell us about How Sleep Depraved.